I've seen you transform from an individual that used to be in jeans. Your hairstyle, your costume is changing your hair, but your identity hasn't changed. Your identity from where I first met you to now is exactly the same. It's exactly the same because you know who you are. If winning's not going to lie, you can't lie to win. Too many people don't know who they are. They lie to understand.
So much truth behind that. I'm in Palm Beach, real true guys and stuff stopping. My religious I'm the best of this. I said, this guy says, he takes it and shows us the house. Slide just about the house. He sold it. I didn't know the house because it was his house before he sold it. And while I'm with them, he gets a call from Steve. He says, hey, what's up? They got to deal with Patrick. Hey, what's going on? And then I said, so how long have you known Lynn, Trump, all these guys? How many of these guys do? He says, 35 years. I've known these guys. Okay. He says, some of the guys that we get at a small percentage of they have very few friends. There are a lot of people they know. They have very, very few friends. How hard is it? Was Michael more a friendly guy who had a lot of friends? Or Kobe is known for not being the guy that had a lot of friends. He was kind of alone with himself. He was more to himself than he was the other. But what could you say about who they let in and how easily they befriended people?
They let very few people in. They both of them didn't have a lot of friends.
Why do you think that is? Just like
one, they don't really look for friends. They look for allies. It's a huge difference. A friend comes and goes when things are good, when they're wrong, when they're bad. And friends don't have answers. Friends give you the answers when something isn't going well. They say, oh, it's going to be okay. Tomorrow's another day. These guys, they're not looking for, they've never settled for okay in their life. So if you tell them anything's going to be okay, they're like, that's a miserable day. Yeah, that's a miserable day. They're not looking for friends. They're looking for allies. But Winnie doesn't have any friends. Everybody that's won, they're all allies because they can relate to each other. Exactly. Right? So those are the individuals. The allies tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
so because they don't speak the same language, nobody else speaks the language, they speak different mindset language, whatever.
Yes, and it's speaking in very few words. The truth. How old are your kids?
9, 7.
All right. So here's the thing. You can always tell when a kid's going to fib something because the story gets real, real long. It just gets a little longer and longer. But that doesn't change with individuals. The truth is simple. It takes very few words. People understand it. It's them. When is the right time to tell the truth? It's always the right time. It's always the right time. Those individuals, they don't want to be BS. Allies will not BS you. When you're performing well, they'll let you know. When you're not performing well, they'll let you know. If you're doing something destructive, they'll let you know. And sometimes your allies aren't even your closest, they're not even your closest associates. They just pop in, be like, they hold you accountable, and they leave. That's it. But people don't want to be surrounded about those guys because you look at a relationship, winning requires, it requires all of you. And if it requires all of you, it requires you to be honest. So people cannot be honest with themselves. They can't be honest with other individuals. What's the first thing people say they want in a relationship? Honesty, until you're honest with them. So what happens? When you are honest with an individual and you tell them the truth, it's supposed to lead to better performance, better understanding. What does it usually do? It leads to more emotions. And more emotions lead to what? Less productivity, less of everything. Because now you have to deal with an emotional situation. These people know how to go from one emotion to another quickly. They know how to go from fun to serious, serious back to fun, quiet to loud, loud to quiet. They have that ability to go.
What a crazy thing you just said. You know, they said that about Tupac. I don't know who was talking about Tupac. He says one day I'm sitting down with Tupac. 1 minute is a poet. 1 minute he's a philosopher. 1 minute he's a crusader. 1 minute he's got thinking about his enemies. 1 minute he's this. His mind was. Is it the level of creativity, or is it the level of focusedness, or is it the level of they feel all the sensitivities, they're aware of everything that's going on? Does the smallest thing bother them? Is it the slightest thing could bother them, or no?
It can. I won't say it bothers them. They know whether they need to use it or not use it. They have the shortest memories. They don't forget.
It's obvious from Last Dance.
Yeah, they don't forget.
I'm supposed to kill this guy.
Yeah.
You know?
They don't forget, but they have the shortest memories. And what I mean by the shortest memories is, I've always said that to the greatest athletes out there, thinking is a distraction. Because if you're thinking, you're not in the moment. But it takes years and years and years and years of thinking not to be able to think. Not to be able to think. So these individuals that can go from one emotion to another, they can go from laughing to serious, they have that ability to know what they can use and what they can't use. They can get rid of it real good. Real good.
You know, I ask this because you think about Michael and Chuck, right? Charles, phenomenal relationship, great friendship they got, and then all of a sudden one day they're on, you know, the Oprah Winfrey one. You know this skit where
Sure.
Charles is wearing the blue, jumpsuit. Michael comes out in a nice thing, and they're just taking shots at each other, and then the friendship is a falling out. That's what I mean. At one point, what is the falling out for? Is it personal? Is it why'd you side with him? How could you say that guy's a better player than me? Are you freaking kidding me? You know I crushed you when we played. What gets a guy at that level to stop a relationship with a guy like Charles you've known for 20, 30 years?
They just decide one day, I'm not doing this anymore. And maybe whatever reason it is, I don't know what, obviously I know what's been in the media and what's been wrong, but when they decide, they make a decision. They don't make a suggestion, they make a decision. Think about yourself. You made a decision to move your family, to move to this location, to separate the two businesses. Those are all decisions. How many individuals do you know are still making suggestions? In order to win, you got to make decisions. You got to make decisions. Winning, that's the first thing winning requires. Are you deciding, or are you suggesting to be in this unforgiving race? What are you doing? Well, what are you doing?
Makes sense. Michael made a decision and moved. That's what happens.
That's it. That's what happens.
I mean, listen, I think the world would love to see those guys back at it and talking to each other.
Of course they would.
I think it's eventually going to happen.
I agree with you.
I
agree with you.
Charles, you got to love Charles. I mean, Charles is the best guy on TV. I don't think anybody can. I don't know how many awards this guy's won. And Michael, is there any athlete that people are more enamored by than him? I don't think so. Those two guys come together.
It's just like.
So let's talk about The Last Dance. Okay, the first time you and I sat down, I brought up LeBron James, and you had at one point said LeBron James was a closer, but you said that like 12 years ago, 10. I don't know the exact timeline. You said that even maybe when the book came out, you considered him a closer, not necessarily cleaner, and you have the whole cooler, closer, cleaner, and the cleaner are guys like Michael, and all these guys that are cleaners. Okay, great.
He's a cleaner now.
Okay, so here's my question for you. He's got 4 now. He's a Laker now. He's won with Miami. He's won with Cleveland. He won for the city. He won for Miami. He's all right. Okay. Do you think The Last Dance is the worst thing that ever happened to the argument of him being the greatest and passing on Michael?
I don't even think so before the last. Listen, I'm gonna be subjective on this, obviously, because of my relationship.
We're not running for office. Don't be
Right,
too
with Michael.
political.
No, I'm not.
That's your thing.
But I'm just saying. All right. I think even before the last dance, it just wasn't.
The only reason I say this is because, here's why I say this. So, I'm 42. I think if you're above 35, there is no argument.
Correct.
Okay, if you're
I'd
above
agree
40,
with
there's
that.
no argument. Like, but you think the 22-year-old guy, the 28-year-old, the 26-year-old, maybe they didn't get a chance to watch it. Dun, 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 on Saturday morning. Michael's coming up against Chicago, he scores 52 points, 55 points, all this other stuff. You would see the guy's killer instinct. Do you think the 22-year-old, like a generation that missed watching this guy play, said, that guy's a scary guy to face up against? Do you think Last Dance hurt with those guys as already?
Oh yes, it just, there's so many, I've had so many people that come up to me and say the footage of MJ on YouTube is enhanced. There's no way anybody. They're like,
Photoshop.
yeah, they're just like, yes, they're just like, there's no way he can do that. All right? And I've had so many individuals now that are just like, because they get it, there's just like, MJ's just a myth that goes to us. We hear all these stories, we've heard all these things, and it's just, they just can't comprehend it. They just can't comprehend it.
So the debate for you, it wasn't even a debate before, but the debate for you even afterwards, nothing changed for you, but for somebody else, maybe they said, this wasn't Mike. And LeBron's probably watching that thing saying, ooh, they're going to say this, they're going to say that, they're going to say this, that's not good. Because, LeBron's a legacy guy. He said, I'm chasing a goal, so it's not like he hasn't put it out there.
Right.
When he came out and said he's chasing one guy, when he dunked the ball and he's looking at him,
Yes, of
he's
course.
sending a message.
He is sending a
I
message.
wasn't looking at him, I was just dunking the ball.
Yeah.
You know what he's doing. Okay. So, who's on your top 5 all time? Do you have a top 5 all time? Let's say Michael's the greatest, then the second. Do you have that?
I don't have a top 5 of all
If you
all
were to pick
time.
it, who would be your top 5?
Oh boy.
No one's gonna watch this.
No, I know
It's
this.
like 2 views here. Don't worry.
Yeah. Well, obviously, Michael's gonna be on there. All right. I'd have to put. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. If you look at, depending on the era of the game, if you're just, it could be. It's so different. I mean, if you're looking at the older game, you definitely want Shaq in there, right? It's just the way he was probably the most dominant player. That he just gave the ball and he just literally ran through everybody. I would want. I would say MJ. Kobe.